It's the same sort of thing that we saw in the tail end of Ascent. Those 1-for-1s. In this case, FUT coming out 2-for-1. Super happy with that initial engagement. And it's even worse on these maps when defenders go down in even trade scenarios because there's 3 maps or 3 sites to deal with. Flash over top did just spot that Mound was empty, so he should have a rotate coming through, at least to either assist on B or help out Monk.
Right on cue, you see them turning over. Monk's the only one here, he's playing tree, and they're not pushing up that way. I don't know that they're gonna spot him. He's in a really good spot to make a play here. Oh gosh, every single bullet missed.
Player standing.
And Maj is not. A 1v3 4 bunt.
Spike planted.
With 46 HP, nothing but a classic. The play would be ridiculous. The alarm bout's the first to fall, and he follows shortly thereafter. FUT get another pistol.
Lost 3 in a row for them. Which means they're going up big in that head-to-head record on the pistols. And they're so crucial. When you see both sides run out of steam, they're so crucial. FUT since Ascent have looked completely not different. I think I agree with Kukuka in terms of the fact that ASE running out of ideas on those retakes and defensive ideas overall added a lot to what looked like FUT playing very well. But either way, at the individual level, they're definitely stepped up since Haven.
ASE have sent 3, well 2 now, because Bunt's rotating away, but they've posted up aggressively in B. Doesn't seem like that's where FUT are gonna head, as there's this 3-man death ball exploring C while the rest of the numbers are split towards A.
Dangerous proposition. We've got 2 Bulldogs alone on A.
The tap of the door, and they just back right up.
And knowing that actually B-Main was under control of the defense right now, actually pivots them back over towards A. The original idea was to break through that breakable door and pivot towards B. Now they're going to use the Viper Wall to clear up towards A. Flash close, Shorty close as well.
He slipped the net. With the Shorty, he gets a kill. Upgrade to weapon now. 30 HP, there's still so much to do, and there's not much health to go around for him. Harmlessly falls. But still a 3v3 here. Cracks is so weak. The retake attempt from ASE have to be a bit labored, and Maj has already dropped 2. Ishin with nothing but a classic meets a similar fate as FUT get 2.
ASE just ran in, trying to up the pace like they did on Haven on those retakes.
She knows mine.
Just ran straight in. A couple players got trapped there too. And FUT, they got both bonuses on Ascent. Lost 2 players in that last one, so 2 Bulldogs and a Vandal. It's not the greatest of buys. Not the greatest of situations. The Neon joins this A control side. And the Omen and the KO of Mr. Fallen and Cracks. Flash over top, that's been a success point for FUT over and over, is when uncontested, and even when contested, that flash can do so much work. Working past the Viper Wall immediately. They've got so much space to pick this A side.
HFMI is playing very close by, and they pounce at just the right time.
There's some teamwork there from ASE finally coming through. Peeking on the A side, HFMI through the smoke. The turret obviously down now that Monk has fallen. Should leave a gap here on the B side. FUT immediately capitalizing on that, but the other turret down too from the distance of Maj. He's got to be careful with this. Could come back up at any point. Maj is not actually going back. He's pulled away the turret.
And Life is taking all the space that he's being given. He's so far up. There's a smoke currently keeping him back for now. But as soon as that goes down, you know he's going to be looking for a play. Instead, he peeks ahead of the smoke, looks for the kill, and finds it! Huge position, huge round by Life.
And no bonus there from FUT. So the streak won't continue. And I like that round immensely from ASE. The double peek downstairs. The flank from Life as well. He was in mount for quite a while. Starts his flank as this A hit comes through. So great timing. FUT just missing on a couple of those ideas though. The couple of possibilities of ASCs that they did go for. This time they might challenge here. There's no neon this time, so it's going to be much more controlled from FUT.
Note
from
here,
Cracks.
Note here for ASC, because of the way Life played the last round, he's able to have blades online, hand a weapon over to a teammate, and they're instantly used.
Fast reaction from FUT to go into the C site. They haven't challenged Monk at all. He's got a judge close by. 2 nanos as well to play for.
Oh, of course he does. But the lockdown's going to be the line in the sand.
He's going to jump in.
Oh, was so well handled and considered by QE.
Yeah, he already had control of the smoke, so very happy to stay there.
Expecting the pounce as Kiwi gets a second. The spike does go down. Those blades that we saw, that we mentioned from Life at the very beginning of the round, haven't even had a chance to challenge. This retake attempt is surely going to be labored. They're down in numbers, they're down in weaponry. Life upgrading one though. They try to swing it out. HFMI and Life both fall. And that's the cue for them to cut their losses. Whoa. Take one with them, but that's all it is.
Good reaction from FUT. I mean, instantly hitting. When that Sky Flash came through, when the Omen one-way came through on that A side, they switched immediately to the tools they have, and ASC didn't consider it. Another shotgun from Monk, too. They're buying up in this one. Bunt with the full armor, despite some of his teammates going for light, when they definitely could purchase up full. Random spam. Mr. Fallen alone this time trying to go for something. That's because he's joined by the knife. They're trying to misdirect and again hit the C side.
And it's right back into the shotgun that you mentioned. Remember, it was the Judge previously, this time a Bucky.
They farmed up the Viper's Pit in the meantime.
No smoke to play inside this time.
Oh gosh.
Just barely ahead of it, but still patient. Dropped nonetheless.
It's a very strange idea, given that there's mollies down in front of him, to play in front every single time with that shotgun. Why not play back at the pillar?
ASC still have 3 rifles to play with. Bunt, you see him having to carefully consider every possibility. Pushing forward, past the utility and right into Maj's crosshair. Cracks has already gotten 3. This is very quickly becoming ugly.
There too, you can see FUT. They use a pit that actually allows them to play for post. Out and mound allows the Viper to stay out and mound as well. But they know the situation. They know these guys love the flank. And they play all inside of that pit. So well considered. You're right though, ugly it is. 4-1 right now. It's back to saving here for ASC.
And it's a lot of the same thing that we saw in the previous round. And we've seen in a few rounds, really. Life and Bunt taking a lot of space C. Playing in a smoke. How disciplined can FUT be?
I wonder if Mr. Fallen last round thought that they were eco. Because he goes solo mission again. Cracks finally does join up though. And everything that FUT is doing, they just figure out what ASC is doing and just run the opposite way. This is 3 rounds now. Will Maj escape? No.
In the face of the turret too, man. Just finding the narrowest of windows.
And there's going to be guns recovered. Only Life to pick him up though. And that means Bunt left alone with just the Sheriff. Well, FUT can set up in post positions. Doubled up on stairs though. That smoke might fade.
Bunt has hit a couple of pretty nasty Sheriff shots. But is he going to be expecting the pressure?
Player standing.
Nope.
Not at all. Cracks was in a great spot. There was help too, you mentioned it. They were double stacking stairs. Too much for Bunt to do. Too much for Life to do.
Some of those heroic moments from Attacking Soul Esports that we saw in that DRX game that gave DRX a little bit of trouble are definitely missing today. Even in that win against FUT here on Haven in that first map. Just not quite converting. Life had a fantastic series against DRX. Right now you're seeing a lot of moments where he's ready and definitely given the opportunity, but not quite hitting as hard as he was. These elimination games change the circumstances for anyone. And if you're wondering right now, this is a FUT Esports timeout.
Down 5-1. And forced to, again, answer questions. This light armor strat that they've been leaning into have gotten them a couple of extra gun rounds, but they aren't really finding success there.
And the info on the screen, by the way, ASE, correction, it is their timeout. Coming to an end right now. I was wondering for a second there, because...
Yeah, I was really confused.
Said it on the screen, I was like, you're up 5-1. Gotta come through now, though, for ASE. I think these early aggressions that are continuously happening, FUT is reacting so well to them. You've got to be able to do something else with that space. An extra peek somewhere for life down B or something when you corral them and force them to rotate.
But instead, it's a bit of the same. It's aggression towards C. This time it's well held, though. Life is the only casualty. And the spike is in a precarious position.
And they have follow-ups this time, too. I mean, they hold on to the space. There's going to be a flash with the door for Maj to potentially find something.
Player standing.
All he finds is a couple of bullets, courtesy of Bunt.
And that one way makes it impossible for him to get across to that spike to make plays. You're going to have to look for other routes.
Yeah. This will be difficult for Cracks to consider and convert. It seems like we may have a moment to chat here. So, Ball, I do want to get your thoughts on this, because that look that we saw was very similar to what we've seen out of ASE a couple of times. What was different there? What worked? Because FUT have been able to handle that.
I think the delayed stun there from Yishen was fantastic. And you saw FUT wanted to fight through it. They've had a little bit of a confident surge, given the scoreline. But that extra late stun allowed basically Bunt to clear through everything that was going through. That neon wall also not super supportive of the rest of the team out of Kiwi. Just for himself, he can play behind it, but there was only one lane on the left. Now it's free. But that's something that's easily adaptable against. If you're FUT, you just realize, okay, let's play a little slower when you're going for this. Let's not have full confidence through, even though sometimes it can get us some value. Let's carefully, prod. Let's carefully approach the sites. Mr. Fallen, I mean, you've seen success from him over here, especially when they go with Cracks, especially when they go with Kiwi. A-side default working very well. Might get broken down here, though.
Yeah.
Killjoy utility, Sky utility, and HFMI to consider.
Set up to wait for the smoke to fade now. Timing with the smoke on stairs.
The door, the paranoia, the nano's used.
Oh, wow. So much in the middle of that site right now. And it's a full fake.
It's late misdirection, and that turret, yeah, finally getting a little bit. It seemed like Monk was a little bit further away. Either way, FUT have gotten their way in.
Oh, no!
Invested in Cracks was ahead of it. But Ishin, wise to it, able to respond.
That breach ult stunned them up for life to open up the door, too.
HFMI has 1 HP. Grab the spike, getting away. Kiwi and Mr. Fallen both so healthy, and with 13 seconds left, they should be able to get the spike down. Can Kiwi hold them back? No! In a position to make something out of it, and he cannot. Leaving Mr. Fallen by himself, a 1v4. They're both weak. There's a shot at this. Oh. Well handled by ASE. And in situations like that, you've seen teams break down. You've seen them take single individual swings and You have special moments. That's just not one of them.
There's ways that in moments like that where you're 4v1, you can clean it up.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Saw it there from attacking Soul. One player jumping through, the other player following up. Instant trade. It's a good attempt from FUT, but not quite going to come through. And it's giving some life here.
Yeah, last 2 rounds going over to the defense. They've got the lockdown from Monk too.
Ooh, late call for ASE right now. They're just joining up on that C site. It's not going to be a factor, but they definitely called an audible about what they wanted to do, and they're going to receive.
And that is a little different from FUT to respond. It's normally a nano from Maj that soars through to block that off, but this time it's the Viper Orb.
It's the same call out of FUT every single round, and I think against ASE, this is probably a good idea, because it's the same call for them too.
Right.
It's just the KJ, it's just the Sky on the other side, and you can start to do minor adjustments within this default that Cracks and Mr. Fallen are running on this side of the map. For example, this, breaking the door early, breaking the turret, allowing for this pivot to be threatened a lot better.
ASE still holding fast at Mound, and it seems like that is where they're going to want to go. A tap of the door, a smoke, even a paranoia towards A.
Here it comes.
But there's no reason to believe.
Timing is terrible for Bunt.
The Cloudburst providing cover. ASE playing in the smokes, finding a kill, getting away.
Okay. Around the corner too, 13 HP is what he comes away with.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds, the pivot's gonna come through.
Oh, that nano hurt.
What?
I mean, a funny look is all it would have taken. Mr. Fallen pushing through the smoke, HFMI.
That kill should be the final thing to confirm that they should push back into B.
Mr. Fallen so far up. Well, 10 seconds left. That would have been so big out of Monk. Can Ishin stop them? Can he delay? Spike planted. 1. Cracks. Just there. And I wonder if he's expecting Ada Captain.
He knows Ada Captain's there. He knows he planted.
The thing is, he hasn't had any info on this line. Maybe it's enough for him to swing out. The fault line there. The swing onto it, and Ada Captain greets. FUT get to 6.
How's that stun missing?
It had to have been narrow. Pixel, because it looked like it was dead on. You're right.
I mean, both of them, I feel like, were on that line. I wonder if he was too close to the wall. That's a great way to split them up. And FUT, again, super cautious.
30 seconds left.
I mean, they had plenty of opportunities to pivot there with the info. That was given. Thankfully, in the final moments, it does convert for them to stay up in a lead, in a good lead. Finally, a switch up here from ASE. Life's got the op, and he's pushing into B.
Flash, everyone there, but the shot goes wide. Ada Captain does not miss, however. Kiwi wanting to go, but the fault line keeps him at bay for the time being. Second shot, this time successful from Life.
It's crazy, too, that he's able to use the remaining portions of that dash. He activated at the very beginning of that round when the initial peak happened. Somehow he saves it till then.
It seems like we're going to end where we
Great
ended so many times before. And you're right, the reposition is beautiful. He's ahead of the play.
Okay.
Took 3 shots and took 2 lives with it. That's all he was able to do.
My ultimate is ready.
KJ ult. In the game against DG.
Break the panel and note that turret is there. So there's no real reason to believe until it gets cleared out, and that's exactly what just took place.
Oh, Bunt's fighting here. Up in heaven.
You should run.
Ishin's close by. But they're going to respect the lockdown.
They have to.
Is Blunt going
30
to...
seconds left.
There's a counter ult possible if he gets over towards Waterfall.
Thought he was going to ult for a moment and stay.
Aftershock again has been so good at delaying.
The flash onto the swing, looking to find some space.
There's the defender's KJ lockdown. They can play from B main here, but Bunt does have a smoke and finding kills on the exit. Not going to help FUT here.
Cracks has 7 HP.
You can almost stick this outside the mauling.
The hand. Oh, how does he still get the kill? Oh, away, Maj! Ishin, 1v2, in the smoke, out of it now, getting it down to a 1v1. The tap is there. No utility. He's got to take the fight. Time is short. As smoke dissipates, the options are running out. The decision's simple, but surely he doesn't have time for the defuse.
What a turnaround for Maj. First thing he does, by the way, he's all the way A main, throws a molly. A lineup from the other side of the map, then goes on the lurk. And he gets spammed before he even sees him, still confident to take that fight and swing against Bunt as well. There's a moment there where FUT thinks that the player is completely sticking. And that definitely put some uncertainty into them that they might have lost that round. That allows at least for that first kill. Finally a save from ASE.
There's just so much staying power. Life with the blades.
What? What? It's every time with this guy.
Every time you think he's overstaying, there's no way he gets a kill. He's so dead, he's so done. Takes one with him, stays alive. Still!
See him? Oh. Crack still controlled. Did invest into this one. Monk's got a shotgun again. He's pushing.
It's a bit surrounded. HFMI is going to be able to provide some pressure from Mound. Bunt has the paranoia. There it is. Dropped out, and that's going to funnel back the remaining defenses from FUT.
Volley. So close.
The Trailblazer takes a bite out of him. 37 HP, and they're trying to spam through. Not quite secured on site. 2v2 still. You see the shells. He's flying across the screen. As Monk tried to do it, but Anna Captain does. Dude,
I like this Monk guy.
I mean, these rounds, all of it.
This game is getting ridiculous.
Monk is insane. You know, we saw those closing moments. Think about life at the very beginning of the round. Anna Captain with a huge play.
That was his pick. And they planned to be open for it, too. By the way, if they don't break that nano that landed early,
yeah.
Hey, they don't have space to fight there. They're starting to stick the spike on it.
Go, go, go.
Last round of the half, and it's an aggressive one. Kiwi instantly using his ult in conjunction with Mr. Fallen, getting behind him. The paranoia. There's okay, never mind. Bunch has got a head on a swivel.
Still got him in the back line, though. Mr. Fallen forces them to get off.
Life evacuates, space stays alive.
4 mollies available here. They have to hold on to Mound. That's the win condition for this round.
The door's just a threat. HFMI playing on the other side of it.
They might breach ult here.
They do.
Onto the site,
It's
but
not going to hit anyone.
they need to fight the Mound players.
And that's exactly where they are. HFMI still in a position to make a big play, but he's waiting for the right moment to strike. And he's done.
Molly missed.
2 left for ASE. Make that one.
Player standing.
Is that enough? Monk on the tap, but he drops down. Surely has been heard! But Monk gets the kill.
Imagine if I died right now.
Ada Captain for sure heard him. The dude's shooting his weapon. He knows he's off. And that's going to hurt for FUT.
You were just saying you like that Monk guy. He just gave you more reason to like him.
Last player standing.
What a play.
One enemy
A
remaining.
1v3 to close things out. Unreal. Oh, and a look of disbelief on a couple of members of FUT.
Going to start getting to you.
And it doesn't get any greater than this. Facing elimination. You're up 4 at halftime. Golden Boy, what just happened? Guys, break that down.
Monk just channeled all of his energy and kept, at the very least, ASE competitive in this game. 8-4 is the result as we go into the half here. Of course, Golden Boy alongside with Mimi and Kukuka. And let's just talk about what we saw in that first half, Mimi, because it was just very clear that the FUT are just doing their thing.
Yeah.
and thriving.
I mean, they're running a lot the same executes that we've always known them to do on this map. It's their classic stuff. The C exec where we're throwing a close door, we're pushing past that, we're doing all the normal things, and that was mostly working. But there were actually some rounds where ASE was finding value and managing to adapt. In this one, punishing the C exec, and in this one, also having a really fast reaction to FUT's B hit.
Also understanding that FUT do not favor that B side, so trying to read into the classic util that they throw, and to see what they play with that 3-2. We see the adaptation, maybe it is not enough, and then we just go to run and gun rounds, especially this last one. We could see Ada Captain just bringing his hands to his head, being like, why did I pick on that last fight?
Yeah, they've had those moments of brilliance for the side of ASE, but it's generally been struggle. Still, 1 point of sunshine for them, I suppose, has been like, he's been really good this map. He's been good for them no matter how much they are struggling this tournament. And Kiwi on the other side, he's the guy I'm looking at into this second half. His neon really defines their style on the defense, be it aggressive with him pushing, him opping and then playing more passive, or being the guy to be ahead on rotations.
Yeah, and just knowing that they're playing with that solo controller, that they have the extra utility with the initiators, he probably is going to have a hard time, sorry, not a half time, dealing with this, so he needs to step up.
Yeah, well, right now, if you're ASE, it's do or die. Same for FUT. This is it. Let's send it back over to the casters to close it out.
Thank you, Golden Boy. FUT find themselves up 4 at half. Just a couple rounds away from avoiding elimination, from staying alive. And ASE are the ones who are staring up a greater mountain.
It's crazy to think that we started this with a dominant half out of ASE and a dominant map on Haven from them. But here we are in the series, and they're facing elimination. They're down on this map.
Poison's off.
Back on the attack. They've had some struggles here. Life looking around with the Sheriff. Not much to find, though.
It's interesting here. It seems like they're so concerned with the flank from C. They have 3 members holding still back in spawn.
The spike is most advanced with Life right now.
Yeah.
And it's exactly like we saw on Ascent, on Haven. They're peeking all over the map at this point. Open the revolving door.
Break.
Just broke the panel.
Yep. Flash into B as well. It's just like an overstimulation of possibilities for the defensive side to consider. Because so far you've seen presence everywhere. But they end B. Kiwi spam not gonna land. Life waiting on the other side of the door, and the flick is clean out onto Ada Captain. Excellent adjustment, but is traded back. And they're playing far off here. They're playing off site.
Remember, FUT has won the last 3 pistols.
They're trying to scale forward in the face of the paranoia. You see the flash coming through. Ishin trying to swing around. He's landing some damage, but it's not enough. It's not fatal. Oh, but it life is. Whew. Mr. Fallen, 1v2, just a classic. Time is short. The smoke is there. He's got to try to land the shots. He's got it down to 1v1. The Monk is so weak. That very well may be it. The Red Bull clutch to open the half for FUT.
Mr. Fallen. What a play. He's spamming his classic. They know he's off the spike, but they've overcommitted because they know it's halved. The fact that he has enough time to get this reload off too, sneak back out. Monk is the one running out of ammunition there, and there's so many room to play out of that smoke. I love it. In that little bowl there,
Yeah.
you play around the geometry of the smoke to make yourself peak so fast and switch your direction so fast too. Force buy up for ASE. They're in it again. They won the last time they went for one. They've gotten the site completely for free.
A 5v5 post plant. How insane of a series it's been. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Mr. Fallen's used both of his smokes already, so they have to wait for the cooldown to cut out the site.
FUT finding 2 kills through spam. Oh, what?
Stinger's not doing the work though, completely.
3v2 for FUT. Monk weak. Monk dead. And that's another round for FUT. The investment does not pay off.
In fact, that choice might put their situation from possible to very, very dire. You're looking at 11 for FUT here. Because after that force, they're going to have to save. Yes, they got the spike down again. They might be able to afford a sheriff here and there. A stinger here or there.
What are they going to do?
They're making the decision not to force again.
Yeah, and I wonder what they'll do here. They have 4 sheriffs. Oh, they are buying a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Stinger in the hands of Life and Bunt, who remember had a filthy 2K with that same weapon just a few moments ago.
I mean, they've got to start actually hitting into the bank of FUT because you've given them 3 rifles carried over the last time. And, I mean, these smokes, every single time Life goes for a smoke for him to dash out, they just spam it.
It's just so predictable in a sense, at least on the side of FUT. They seem to have had their number.
Only one player here who went down, died outside of a smoke.
One enemy remaining.
Things have fallen apart for ASE.
And it's unfortunate, but the Prime Gaming Flawless comes through. For ASE, this got to be at the worst point possible. Again, they bought up a little bit there. They're going to need to rely on what has been their plan this entire time, which is light armor. But while that's happening, they're considering the fact that they might be going home in a few rounds. That their run, their opportunity to take their first win for China on an international stage might be fleeting in their hands.
Right there.
Ever since that first map win on Haven by them, things have been different. Very different. FUT's woken up. And ASE, that energy that they came in with has been lacking since. This is the team that pushed DRX in a 2-map series, yes, but definitely made it so that those DRX players had to sweat.
They made it competitive. They made it interesting. But as you're saying, the entrance has been gone since Haven, to be honest.
Early pick, though. Shifts things slightly. Silently walking through HFMI. He's all the way up the stairs. Maj looking for him.
And it's HFMI who finds him.
They've got the gaps now. Those 2 nanos are gone.
Nanos are gone. You do have Ad Captain close by, though. He's playing in the smoke.
Wow, and they just used huge retake tools, a flash, 2 flashes from Mr. Fallen and Cracks to re-clear B-main. They didn't really believe this hit was coming. And the threats of lurkers so often capitalize for ASE. FUT careful of it.
He said they needed to start to dig into the money. This is a great opportunity for ASE to do just that. Isha pushed off the angle, flashed.
It's even now. They have to use the Rolling Thunder.
Yep. Something that you imagine you wanted to be able to preserve. But is that going to be enough to secure the round? Fault line there. The spam, too. Not even able to get it to half. So for Ad Captain, this would be way too much. The spam secures the round for ASE. Whew.
By the skin of their teeth, though.
Yeah.
HFMI is the only one who stays alive in that one. It was a 2v1, but one had to fall to the spike to deal with the defuse from Ad Captain.
One enemy remaining.
Good early entrances, though. HFMI with 3. I think both of the initial kills came in from them. And they win the round, but they've got a long road ahead of them. Timeout coming in. That's both of them now from ASE. None from FUT.
What a luxury of a position to be in if you're FUT. Right, you're up 6 rounds. You still have 2 timeouts. You're just 2 rounds away, excuse me, from closing out the series.
I've seen horrible comebacks, horrible throws in this situation, though, for FUT. They lost the game against Team Liquid when they were up 10-2 in the first half. 10-2. situation not much different there. Completely different team though in ASE. But that haunts you almost forever.
Well, if I remember correctly too, they lost that 10-2 lead on the defensive side, which is exactly where they find themselves. But like you were saying, entirely different team, entirely different situation. The pressure much greater for both.
Yeah, so I don't know whether that
Yeah,
compounds it for FUT or...
Does that help? Does it make things better or worse?
Get out of my way.
Not really much more time to dwell over it. As you see, Kiwi has already gotten so far up. They want to try to apply some pressure. That late paranoia is going to cause so many problems. Bunt's dead. There were so many layers to the aggression from FUT. The stun, the paranoia late, and the kill.
I've got your trail.
Monk is once again so far up mid. Seeker's in the flash, nothing found, but space gained. Live swinging through, the first knife not landing, the second one does, and an opportunity for more, a position to make a play. It's HFMI who's on the trade.
Trades it through. FUT trying to hold on to the space. You could see actually on the waterfall side, they were mollying twice. They threw a nanoswarm and a snake bite to hold it down. That saves the space for the defense. Surely you saw him.
Monk gives up his life, detained by the ult. Expecting something, and Nazishan who's going to have to pull off a 1v3. He's got it down to a 1v2, but Captain holding the defuse. He's gotten it all the way there. FUT gets a series point.
They close out too, take the Vandal with them. Gotta look at the economy instantly here. It's rough for attacking Seoul Esports. Only 2 rifles gonna be able to bot up. And to think FUT, who went down early against EG in this group stage. The team that has not yet qualified for champs, none of the MEA teams have. They thought they were done for after that early game, but Na'Vi lost as well. So that battle continues.
Just a stun from FUT towards A-Main this time, and a knife. No aggression, no positioning.
ASE might be done here after this round. For a first showing at an international LAN. They turned some eyebrows in that first series. But here, they might be the first team to exit from Masters Tokyo.
Desperation and a need to put everything behind this possible final punch. Lockdown invested. And the space gain, but HFMI falls. I mean, everything is scattered. You see it on the minimap. They're trying to corral them, to control them defensively, but it seems like there may be an attempt at a reflank.
And look at all the space gained from ASE too. They've walked into it.
Rolling Thunder.
Doesn't
Mr. Fallen's behind them. He's going to be creeping up towards B. Are they going to be expecting the pressure? Yes, Bunt does. 3v3 now. As the spike continues to tick away, there have been so many pesky fights happening elsewhere, but the main target, time, becomes the problem. Can FUT get in? 1, 2. Maj gets it down to that's it. Monk alone, a 1v1. Kiwi at half, 34 HP. Kiwi on the tap, the swing, and the clutch for Monk. The Red Bull clutch keeps ASE alive.
How do they hang on to that one? I think they're recognizing instantly what FUT is doing when they get up these sites. They're playing so far back, knowing that they want to push. But instead of pushing, they scatter backwards, but take so much space back in A main.
One enemy remaining.
To make it so difficult for FUT to retake some of that space. No, they don't push Waterfall. No, they don't push Spawn in Heaven. But that battle endured. You can see it's Monk to stay alive in it. Round's already started. And we've got low econ for FUT. Means the overdrive is active for Kiwi.
They've taken all the space C. That alarm bot's not gonna stop that! Kiwi with 2, Kiwi with 3, and that very well may be the dagger. He's gonna do it on his own.
Down A.
4 served up, the 5th not far off. The opportunity for an ace is delivered. FUT stay alive.
What a way to end the map from Kiwi. The star player who's been quiet so far at this tournament. Ends it with an ace. You thought at the beginning of this day you might actually be considering FUT going home. But these last two maps proved completely otherwise. And handle a situation where they go down bad in the first map. They lose, in fact, on the first map. And recover really nicely. And unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Attacking Soul Esports. A formidable attempt at the international stage, but in fact, the Chinese win still eludes.
You got to respect it too, because they did it their own way.
Yeah.
Finding themselves down in an elimination match, they still did what got them to this point. They still tried to make the same unexpected plays, their flavor, their brand of Valorant, if you will. But it's FUT that handles it beautifully.
Well done from FUT to recover in that series. And honestly, to recover completely out of that initial series against CG. Yes, the second map was a lot closer, but I think what you're expecting from FUT after watching them in EMEA, even after watching them at Lock-In, wow, that expectation was higher here. It was very, very low prior to the season. And that split definitely shifted expectations. It was a big surprise. It's a big surprise to see them here at all. But they look fantastic. To take a third place in EMEA over the likes of Na'Vi. Legendary team who still will have to battle against them for that final champion spot.
You can see it for as much as it was a 13-6 in favor of FUT. So many of these rounds were down to the wire, Paula. I mean, they were a treat. They were a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah. Little shotgun plays from Monk.
Chaotic, silly at times.
Love it. The amount of solo peaks from life that you just don't expect. You're like, this guy's crazy. Can't wait to continue to watch him. Life is the only player, by the way, on ASE that we've seen on an international stage before. We saw